Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Canadian Summer Success Summit. My name is Ashley Hann. I am one of your Canadian Board of Directors members. I'm joining you from a little small town in southern Saskatchewan, and I'm going to take you gals on a little bit of a journey when it comes to sharing the business opportunity and sponsoring both in a virtual world during 2021, but also as we transition back into in-home parties, depending on which region you're joining us from. All of the tips and tricks that I share with you here today will be transferable and adaptable to a virtual format if you choose to use it there, or an in-home party atmosphere. So welcome everybody. I've been in business for just about 3 years. And when I first got started, I was one of those girls that stumbled across a business kit on Facebook and thought, I could really use that purple thing in that box, amongst a few other things. I had never tried any of the Pure Romance products before, and I thought that it would be a great opportunity to get the products at a discount. So I'm going to talk about sharing the business kit in a very, very tasteful way as well, because I am someone who was initially drawn in by the business kit itself, by the pricing. I'm going to talk about ways that you guys can do that while also being tasteful and not making it entirely about the business kit. So let me screen share with you gals, and I'm going to take you on a little bit of a ride. So sponsoring 101 brought to you by Ashley Hann, Canadian Board of Directors member, from small town in southern Saskatchewan. And here's some of my stats. So what has sponsoring looked like within my business for the past 3 years? Like I said, I joined in fall of 2018. So 2019 was my first full year in business, and I had about $80,000 in retail sales. I sold 22 kits and I had 16 activations. When we entered into 2020, nobody knew that 2020 was going to turn out the way it did. Over the year, I sold 54 business kits, and I had 45 wonderful women activate their business throughout the year of 2020. Now, I want you to keep this in mind. 36 of the women who I sponsored during the year of 2020 activated in a virtual world. So only about 9 of the people that I welcomed into the business in 2020 were people that I shared the business opportunity in person. Everyone else was through a virtual world. So when I share with you guys some of the tactics that I take in sharing and marketing myself in the business opportunity in my VIP group and on social media, this is just kind of proof that it was effective for me. So you guys will be able to take it, adapt it, and put your own signature flair on it. Now, this year, as of right now, 2021 stats year to date, I have 20 business kits that have been sold and 17 activations. In my personal opinion, my goal this year, and the value that I held, was having 100% activation rate. Okay, I wanted to make sure that I wasn't just selling business kits, that I was truly sharing the business opportunity with women who wanted it just as much as I wanted them to have it. Okay, so right now I'm currently averaging 4 new activated business members per month. Okay. I currently have a team that has just about 80 team members, team wide. So we are a sponsoring team. Now, I want you guys to keep in mind that when it comes to the business opportunity, it's all about the why. So before we get into why they want to join our team, we're going to address why you should want to sponsor. First things first, you could change someone's life. You could change someone's life. Our products are life-changing. The opportunity and the connections and the relationships that women can build by starting a pure romance business are second to none. It could change someone's life. So I just want you to sit with that for a minute. And if you don't believe it, or if you're just brand new in the business and maybe you haven't had the opportunity to see it yet, trust me in what I'm saying and what I'm sharing with you. You have the opportunity to change someone's life. Now, if you don't believe that yet, or if your ego's getting in the way, we're going to address that here real quick. But what I want you guys to consider, sponsoring is a long-term business plan. So sponsoring isn't in my personal opinion, sponsoring should not be attracting kidnappers who just want to deal on the products, and just doing it to get that bonus or that trip. Those are the short-term benefits. In my personal opinion, sponsoring is a powerhouse element to our business plan, and it has the potential to completely redefine your income, your spiritual and emotional health, and the way that you impact the world for years to come. Okay. So I want you guys to keep in mind that sponsoring and sharing the business opportunity, it's you building a residual income, but it's also you playing the long-term happiness game. Okay. So when you're coming into a space of sponsoring and sharing the business opportunity, you really need to step into a space of service, serving others. You guys are going to hear me talk about them a lot throughout this video. Sponsoring and sharing the business opportunity, it's about their journey as equally as much as it's important for you to share the business opportunity for your journey. It's just as important that we focus on what they're going to benefit, what they're going to gain, and what they're going to experience from getting started. Okay, so let's not steal their thunder. I want you guys to think about the day that you got your business kit on your doorstep, or maybe you signed up with a social sellers kit. I want you to think about that day. On the right hand side, you guys are seeing, yes, I signed up with the pretty pink little boxes. You guys are seeing me at my very first party. You guys are seeing me standing at the door, ready to go out and head into the pure romance world on my way to my very first party. That excitement is rich, it's real, it's nerve wracking. And if you make sponsoring, or if you make someone signing up about you, you're stealing that excitement and all of that positive feel good energy from them. Okay. So let them experience it. Let this be truly about them. Let this be a space where they get to be celebrated. Okay. And on the controversy, like you guys, failure to share the business opportunity, failure to just simply ask your hostesses, hey, have you ever thought about doing what I do, is selfish. And here's kind of why. We're going to talk about that in a second. Well, let's think about, who do we want to sponsor? We've all heard that, you should share this business opportunity with everybody. Okay. But with sharing it with everybody, I need you to be really, really intentional. When I seek out women to join my team or to start a business, I'm seeking women who could use the pure romance business opportunity in their life. But I'm also seeking out the women that pure romance could benefit from. So I'm seeking out the people who are already showing the talent and the energy that being a pure romance consultant requires. But I'm equally as much seeking out those women that could use that confidence boost, that could use that income. Okay. Equally as much. All right. So I want you guys to just think about it. This is kind of a brainstorming session that you guys can utilize. Screenshot this and use these as prompts if you'd like. Who are your super shoppers? Who are the people who religiously spend $100 with you every other month, or $500 at every single time you do a flash sale? Who are your super shoppers? Who's the woman who stalks you on social media? You know exactly what I'm talking about. The woman who stalks you, likes you, loves you, comments on all your things. She's like your fluffer. She makes you feel good. All right. Maybe she's just dying for you to open the door for her. All right. Don't assume. Ask the question. Who's the woman who's on Facebook 24 hours of the day, posting all the funny memes and always interacting? Who's the woman who talks about body image on her Instagram? That would be an incredible asset to the pure romance business. Who are the new moms, the new wives, the new students? Who are the new women who are celebrating changes within their lives? Could they benefit? Could we benefit from them? Who's the hostess who had 50 women join her party group? I had one of these ladies just last month. I said, hey, holy dynamite, we just started your group yesterday. You already have 52 women. How have you not thought about starting a pure romance business yourself? Your friends already seem incredibly supportive. Guess what? She signed up and she was number 3 in sales on our team last month. Okay. Who's the woman with hundreds of friends? Or who's the woman with no friends? Who's the woman who needs instant friends? You guys know, you start a business, you join a pure romance team, you instantly have friends, whether you like it or not. They are now your sisters, your family, your cheerleaders, all right, your instant friends. And who's the friend who's maybe doing some soul searching? All right, we all have that one friend who needs to have all of the great experiences that Pure Romance has to offer. Okay. Now, I want you guys to think about what is holding you back from sharing the Pure Romance business opportunity. Okay, like I want you guys to just close your eyes and imagine there's this brick wall in front of you. What is that brick wall's name? Okay. Is it the concern of what other people will think? Oh my God, I can't ask Susan because she already does this other business and she's just going to think that I'm just asking her to go through the motion. Okay. Is that barrier in front of you the fear of coming across as pushy or ingenuine? Are you concerned about market control? Are you thinking that, oh my God, there's already another Pure Romance consultant down the street. I don't want to take away all my customers and give it to her. I'm not going to share the business opportunity. Okay. Is it the fact that leadership feels like a job to you, or you straight up don't know everything yet, so you can't possibly lead a team? Okay, we're going to address that one. Or is it potentially that you just have that voice inside of you who's constantly beating you down that says, nobody wants to join my team? All right. I want you to first, before we can move forward with sharing the business opportunity wholeheartedly, you need to identify what's been holding you back from sharing the business opportunity. What's been preventing you from just asking the question, hey, have you ever thought about trying what I do? I have a lot of fun. I get my products for free and I pay some bills with it. Okay. The biggest barrier you have, if you are not wholeheartedly, unapologetically sharing the business opportunity and asking, your biggest barrier is your ego. Okay. Your ego is holding you back. Your ego is that thing that's making it all about you. When you make it all about you, or when you're concerned about what other people will think, or when you're concerned about losing your customers to a new team member, or when you're concerned that leadership's going to feel like a job, boom, you just made it about you. You just made sharing this golden gift that is the Pure Romance business, you just made that all about you. And that is selfish. Okay. So when it comes to sharing the business opportunity, the first thing that I do when I go into a conversation with someone, or when I'm driving up to a house for a party, or when I'm sitting down in the shopping room, is I just flip that switch and I say, hey, ego, it's time for you to take a back seat for 10 or 20 minutes. Okay. Because this conversation needs to be about her. And I need to forget all those fears that I have and just open the door and ask the question for her. Okay. So, is your ego speaking too loudly for you to sponsor? All right. Now, what are we going to cover here? Now that we've got that out of the way, we're going to dive into some mindset when it comes to sponsoring. What are some important mindset skills we should have? Then I'm going to break down the 3 different areas of my life that I'm personally actively sponsoring. So parties that sponsor, building parties that sponsor consistently, building parties that drop those seeds, all right? Sponsoring your VIPs, all right? Watering those seeds. And then last but not least, a sponsoring lifestyle. And if we're lucky at the end, if I have time, I'm going to talk about the conversation. I'm going to give you some verbiage and talk about how you can have a conversation without stressing about having the right things to say. So mindset matters first. Okay, we talked about that. Kick your ego in the back seat. We already dived into that. We already kind of talked about who deserves the Pure Romance business opportunity and why you should sponsor. Let's make it about her. On the right-hand side, you can see 4 of the most incredible benefits that my life has gained because of Pure Romance. I was working 12-hour shifts, getting up at 4 a.m., driving to work and driving home from work in the dark. I was working with men all day. I was sitting in a vehicle and my soul was miserable, to say the least, you guys. I enjoyed some of the people I worked with, but I wasn't thriving, you guys. So when I had this opportunity to step into a new space where I could be myself, where I could be bubbly, where I could meet new people, where I could gain new friendships, people that check in with me every single day and just say, have a great day. When I could step into a space where I got a $3,600 bonus check. That's more than what I was making in my shift work oil field job. Okay. When I can step into a space where I have experienced so much personal development that it blows my mind, I don't even recognize the person I was 3.5 years ago. Okay. Those are the gifts that I have gained through Pure Romance. Yeah, I've gone on a few incentive trips. I paid off a few bills. Those were all bonus things too. But the best thing I gained is the sisterhood, the support, and the self development. Okay. So I want you to think about the gifts that you gain from peer romance. Who deserves your gift? Who can you share that with? Who deserves your gratitude? Okay. Who are those customers that deserve your gratitude? Nothing says thank you like, come and be a part of what I'm doing. Come experience it. Come just give it a try. Nothing says thank you like including people. Okay. And then last but not least, who deserves women who believe in her? All right. I mentioned it. I have women in my life who message me every single day, who call me every single day just to say, have a good day. I didn't have that before. I want you to think about how many women in your life do not have a support system. And then I want you to think about the support system you have with your pure romance sisters. You are selfish if you don't share it. Okay. All right. I'm not beating you down. I'm lifting you up. Let's share that magic. Let's share that gift. Okay. Your mindset matters. How many people? I just had a retreat. I'll take you on a little journey here. I just had a retreat 3 weeks ago at my house. We had 8 women gather in a really safe setting. And we rang the bell so many times at the breakthrough moments in both personal development, business development. We rang the bell so many times because it was such a magical place. And I left that retreat. I sat down with my assistant the day afterwards and she asked how it went. And I said, I just wish every single woman in the world had a space where they could feel that important, where they could feel that heard. Okay. So make it your mission to share this with as many people as possible for them so that they can walk away from a retreat or they can walk away from a meeting or they can simply walk away from a conversation with you feeling like a better version of themselves. Okay. Now, off my soapbox, let's go. Let's rock and roll. Set your parties up to sponsor. I like to consider my parties the environment where I'm planting the seeds. And the reason why I say that is when you're in a virtual party or when you're in an in-home party, you're meeting a lot of new people. So it's the first impression you're making on a lot of people. And I'm going to say it, you're going to hear me say it again. Your first impression could be your last impression if you don't do it right. Okay. So planting seeds, we're going to break down capitalizing on your biggest lead, which is your hostess, how to get that ball rolling. I'm going to talk about how you can share your story and how many times you should share your story. And we're also going to talk about different sponsoring games you can play in home, virtual, what it looks like. All right. So, in your parties, what does it look like to sponsor? Let's just jump into that with a hostess. Your hostess is your biggest lead. Every time someone books a party with you, their name should go on that little piece of paper that has leads list written at the top. Okay. If she loves the products enough, if she wants to get the products at a discount, or she just needs some fun and girl time, she probably could benefit from the pure romance business. Am I right? If I'm right, drop a yes down below. Okay. How many hostesses have you signed up in the last little bit? Okay. If it's a lot, chances are you're doing your homework. If it's not a lot, I'm going to give you some tips. So I actually give my hostesses hostess coaching options. So she gets to choose what kind of hostess she's going to be before her party even gets started. So before I set up her party group, before I start my hostess coaching, she gets sent this picture and I say, hey, I didn't want to get too far ahead of myself. What kind of party are we having? What kind of hostess do you want to be? And I send her this. She looks through it. She might want to be a party babe. She might just want to be a plain old plain hostess and get the free stuff. She might want to be a party starter. And I'm going to explain how I do this. But she might want to have a party and use her hostess credits to start a business. Or she might say, hey, to heck with it. Let's just give it a whirl. She's going to sign up with the social sellers, which in Canada here, we are incredibly grateful to have. So when you find yourself getting beat down on all the things we don't get up here in Canada, I want you to keep in mind all of the awesome things that we do get. Okay. Go trail. I'm coming back to it. So what type of hostess does she want to be? Does she want to be party babe, party starter, party consultant? I'll share this graphic in the Canada page so you guys can utilize this. Do a lot of them say, I just want to be a number one? I just want to be a number two? Yes, completely. Do I have every now and again someone say number three? Yes. It doesn't matter to me what their answer is here because I'm just simply dropping the seed. I'm just saying, hey, you know what? This is a possibility. Whether you want to do it now or whether you want to do it later, you could start a business. All right. Now, just to cover, because I know I'm going to get questions about this. How do I let my ladies start a business with their hostess credits? If they have over $250 if they have an active party with 250 bucks, I give them the option to also have the 24.95 social sellers kit reimbursed to them. Okay, so that's something that I just personally offer. If it's not your jam, don't worry about it. Just offer the 1 and 3. All right, but you got those options. Now, what are the other important things you want to do when you're having the conversation with your hostess? So, sending her that hostess coaching option is going to just open the door to have that sponsoring conversation. But where do you go from there? What questions do you ask? You need to ask powerful questions. And what I'm going to tell you guys about asking questions, being a question asker, asking the questions makes you the most powerful person in the room. You can control exactly where the conversation goes based upon what questions they're asking. So I've given you a few of my top power questions on the right-hand side here. Have you ever thought about trying the pure romance business? And that verbiage is really important, trying the pure romance business. And the reason why I ask them if they've thought of trying the pure romance business is because it takes the pressure off. They're not committing to it, they're just trying it, all right? So using your words effectively. All right. What interests you most about the pure romance business? Okay. This is gold. If you are not asking this question, I need you to put this as a sticky note on your computer screen and ask it to as many people as possible. What interests you most about pure romance? We need to know why she wants to get started before she signs up for her business kit. If you don't know why somebody's getting started or what interests her the most, you will not know how to motivate her when times get tough. You will not be able to remind her, hey, by the way, Susan, I know the times are tough, but remember that big goal that we set out to buy your family a new holiday trailer? We're going to do that. I need you to help me persevere here a little bit, and I'm going to help you get your business back up and running. Okay. So when times get tough, you need to know her why. That's why we ask that question. Okay. Asking her what's holding her back. Okay. Maybe she forgot her credit card at home. Can you imagine how silly you would feel if you let somebody just not sign up because she forgot her credit card at home? You know what? No problem. I'll call you tomorrow. What time works? 11 a.m.? Perfect. Boom. Ask her what's holding her back. Ask her what hesitation she has. And then also ask her, hey, would you like to try with my help? Ask her if she'd like to do it and ask her if she wants your help. The biggest thing women fear are being alone. Okay. Don't let her be alone in this. Okay. Now, when it comes to the party, how are you sharing your story? It's important that you share your story a couple of times because we know, especially in a virtual world, people aren't seeing everything. So I share my pure romance story multiple times. This right here on the right hand side is the very first post you're going to see in my parties, but this is not the last time I introduce myself. I make this post. I say, hey, I'm Ashley. I'm excited to bring you some laughs right now. First and foremost, I'm a positivity driven, wine loving animal enthusiast. That's who I am. But I'm also a pure romance consultant. Okay. So I'm introducing myself. I'm telling a story. Facts tell, stories sell. You could tell them all the awesome things about pure romance right up front. Pure romance, you only need a minimum of $100 every 60 days. And it's awesome. If you sign with the standard kit, you get XYZ. You could have up to a 50% fine discount. You know what? If I started with that, if I led with all those facts, I lost you. I lost you before we even got started. So instead, I'm going to tell you a story. I'm going to take you on a little journey. Now, I'm making this post. I'm also following it up with a live video. If you're not going live, if you're not getting in the habit of going live, girl, that bandwagon left about a year and a half ago. Start going live. People need to hear your voice. People need to hear your energy and see your bright face. People need to see you on a Facebook Live. So I always go live in my events after I make this post and I introduce myself. I take them on the journey. I tell them how I got started, and I just scrolled across this thing on Facebook and decided I needed the kit. Oops, found out it was a business kit. And here I am 3 years later. I tell them that story. Okay. And giving them the first impression that I'm a normal person just like them. Okay. And then the third time I tell my story is when I do the Facebook Live party. I tell my story at the beginning and I say, hey, this is how it turned out for me. So if you're watching me tonight and you have that little voice on your shoulder saying, hey, you should try this, just send me a message. I'm a no pressure person and I'm happy to answer any questions you have. All right. So I tell my story 3 separate times throughout my virtual parties. When I'm in an in-home party, I tell my story as I'm introducing them to the event. So I'm not the stranger talking to them about sex all night long. They know me, they get to know me. Okay. Now, it's also an opportunity for connection. So people are going to connect to you for different reasons. People with a short, blonde, bob cut hair are going to recognize me and connect with me on a physical appearance. People who love animals, people who love horses, people who love wine, people who are newly engaged, people who are newly married, people who are newly moms are going to relate to me and connect to me because I've shared who I am as a person with them. Okay. And when they feel connected to me, they feel like they can trust me, they're going to listen to all my one-lining jokes. Okay. Now, playing a sponsoring game is going to allow them to have answers to those questions that they didn't even know they had. So what do my sponsoring games look like? I usually, like I said it again, or like I said with telling my story, I play a sponsoring game in my virtual events at least 2 or 3 times. I play a sponsoring game on my live video. I play the 8 questions games. I get women to drop their questions in the comments on the live, on the replay, whatever. If nobody's watching, guess what? I ask myself my own questions. I say, lots of times, the number one question I get asked is, what type of training will I receive? Now, let me tell you what, Susan, you're going to get the best training in the world. Okay. So if you don't have anybody watching your lives, don't worry. You can still play a sponsored game. I also followed up with a visual post and I say, last chance for a party giveaway entry. Do you have questions about what the heck would make a gal want to talk about sexual wellness and self-care for a living? Okay. They drop their questions down below. Lots of times I'll go live and answer these questions a second time. All right. And now let's just address that posting the business kit. I post the business kits. I post the business kits in my VIP group. I post the business kits in my parties. And the reason why is because women are visual beings. They need to see what they're getting. They need to see all the potential that's there before they're going to buy what you're selling, so to say. So I show them this. I give them a little bit of inspiration. I usually show the business kits once the party is all said and done and I've had a chance to talk to everybody. And I shared the social sellers kit. I shared the deluxe kit. I show them what's in it. I don't post the pricing because that changes so frequently. But I show them what they could get getting started as a pure romance consultant. And I think that's important because I'm living proof that I canceled. Okay. I straight up ghosted Desiree Coleman's my sponsor. I straight up ghosted her twice. I booked a party. I had it all planned. And the day before I was that hostess. Okay. And then I scrolled across something she had on social media and said, hey, now it's time for me to give this a chance. So I am proof that sometimes seeing what they're getting is really, really important when it comes to them taking that jump and getting started. Okay. Now, what might this look like in a in-home party atmosphere? I'm just going to touch on this quickly because I know we have some women who are going back into in-homes. So mingling with the guests before the event, getting to know your guests and letting them trust you before you even get started is important. Then playing a sponsoring game. I always play my sponsoring game right before the toys. Okay. I play my sponsoring game right before the toys because I still have people's attention. That's why I play it there. And you can play the Rosie Romance game or the 8 questions game. Best, I'm not going to show you what I play, but you can go to the training site and they have got an incredible breakdown of about 5 or 6 different sponsoring games that you can play. And I also, on the back of my wish list, I also have the Choose Your Adventure printout that you can see here. And yes, I will share this in the Canada page. Having that visual, again, like I said, do I have people who just want to buy it for the products? Yes. But my job there is when we get in the shopping room, showing them that they can buy all these products, but they can also get something that's invaluable with it, which is the business. Okay. And always making sure that you're asking everyone that comes into your shopping room, saying, hey, I had so much fun with you ladies. I swear I hit the jackpot with this job. I had the best job ever. Have you ever thought about trying what I do? That's how I start my conversation in the shopping room. I had so much fun with you gals. What was your favorite part? I love the part where Susie laughed and put on the crazy little blah, blah, blah. Have you ever thought about doing what I do? Okay. So have that verbiage in your back pocket and don't be afraid to ask. Like I said at the beginning, When I walk into the shopping room, I tell my ego, I whisper to my ego, it's time for you to take a back seat for about 10 or 20 minutes. Okay. Now, let's set up your clientele groups to sponsor. You've got parties on your books. I'm just going to like call a spade a spade. If you're not partying consistently, you will not be sponsoring consistently. And the reason why you need parties on your books, kind of a little backpedal here, is that you are constantly bringing new women into your circle. Yeah, you might not be signing those people right at that party, but they're in your circle. And now they have the opportunity to join your clientele group and see what you have to offer multiple times. Okay. On average, we've all heard it. On average, it takes someone about 7 times to see something before they're going to buy into it. Okay. So start dropping those seats. If you don't have a starting point, which is your party, you're probably not going to be consistently sponsoring. Now, when we get them from the party into our clientele group, what does it look like? I call this my watering the seeds environment, okay? I'm a little agriculturist over here. I'm planting the seeds at my party, and now I'm watering them in my VIP group. Now, what I need you gals to know is if you have ever witnessed my VIP group or my clientele group, it is a blog. It has blog-focused content, and I am consistently giving women the opportunity to inquire with me. So every post I make about the business, I'm saying, hey, drop a heart down below if you want to have a coffee date and talk about the biz. Okay. So when it comes to sponsoring within your VIP group or your clientele group, and this goes for your in-home parties too, because you're going to be funneling all those people into your clientele group too. I'm going to talk about how we can continue this story. Okay. You know, you told your story at the party. We're going to continue that. I'm going to show you how you can showcase your lifestyle and the benefits that you receive because you're a pure romance consultant. I'm going to show you some of the sponsoring games that will work in your VIP group. Okay. Your VIP group's really just one great big party. And I'm going to talk about consistently connecting with your guests from those posts. Okay. So showcasing you, your VIP group or your consultant lounge or your client lounge, sorry, should be a blog. It should be your face. People should know who the heck they're hanging with. Okay. So I'm always showcasing me. If they don't see my selfie at least one every other day, then I'm not doing my job. My customer lounge is also where I empower and educate people, and I also entertain them. So this is where I'm building trust. If you can make people laugh within 30 seconds of interacting with you, they have your trust. Laughter, serotonin, happiness equals trust. And when they trust you, they're going to want to be a part of you. All right. So you guys are seeing some of my sponsoring posts. I would still consider these sponsoring posts, but 80% of my sponsoring posts are posts that simply show my journey. So people want to be a part of what I'm doing. People want to be a part of my team. People want to hop in and try this because I'm showing them literally what it's like to be a pure romance consultant. I got my bag packed on the way to a stagette with all of my pure romance essentials, which, by the way, I got for free because I'm a pure romance consultant. You see me on the left-hand side having a midnight snack with my chocolate bars because I'm also done. I'm halfway done flash sale invoicing because that's a crazy time in my life. You can see me then. You're seeing the progress. I'm loaded and I'm hitting the post office in my little van and white SUV with all the boxes there. They're seeing a smile on my face. And then last but not least, not really a sponsoring post, but kind of funny. So we're building that trust. People watching me get into that frequent flyer door swing. And I'm telling you what, it was a gong show. Okay. Thank God I hit the record button before I went started. So 80% of what I'm posting is simply showing my journey. I want you guys to think about back when you're in high school, or maybe you have kids in high school and they're in like grade 10 or 11 and they're starting to think about what they want to do with their lives. Do they have a job shadow day? Do they have a day or take your kid to work day? Okay. This is my way of letting people job shadow me for free on a daily basis. So I want you to consider that. All right. They're going to feel a lot more comfortable when they see what the pure romance journey is actually like through my eyes and through their eyes. Okay. I have a standard minimum 3 selfies/stories per week. So telling a story, showing them what's going on in my life at least 3 times per week. And then 20% of my sponsoring posts are direct business related content that have a direct ask. Okay. I'm going to showcase business perks I experience. I'm going to show them my paycheck and say, hey, What would you use this money for? I know what I'm going to use it for. What are you going to use this money for? Playing a sponsoring game or doing a mini EOO. I'm going to talk about that here in a sec, but I do a mini EOO 1 to 2 times per month in my VIP group. This does not include team-wide EOOs. If you don't know what an EOO is, it's an evening of opportunity or event of opportunity where women can come and have their questions asked and answered about the Pure Romance business specifically. And I'm also posting kit sales. So like I said at the beginning, I do post the kit sales. I never used to. I went through this phase where I was like, I'm not going to make it about the kit at all. They shouldn't even know that we have 4 different business kits. But then I thought about it again. And I went back to the beginning of my journey. And I wouldn't be here if I hadn't seen what was in the business kit. So what I want to remind you guys, though, is that all of these posts you're seeing, the direct asks, ask me about my business, here's the business kit, hit the try the business button. None of these posts are going to be effective if this is all I'm posting. If you're just posting the monthly business kit sale and you're not showing them what your lifestyle is actually like with being a Pure Romance consultant, okay, if you're showing them all of this and you're not showing them this is not going to be effective. Okay, so have that 80-20 rule. And I mean, it doesn't have to be exact, but show them your lifestyle and then hit them up with a, hey, by the way, you could try this. Drop me a heart if you want more information, or ask me about my business and I'm going to do a draw for a $20 gift certificate. Okay, this is how you can play a sponsoring game. Now, when it comes to an EOO, I literally go live. I actually create an event right in my Facebook group. About once a month, I invite everybody in my Facebook group into this event. They have to be in my group to see this event. And I just post content that's specifically related to the Pure Romance business. And then I go live and I answer the 8 questions, and I answer questions that you might have asked me on the Ask Me About My Business post. I answer their questions and I actually talk about exactly what's in the business kits. What does it mean to have auto activation? What does it mean to get a 45% buying discount? What does it mean to start up with a social sellers kit? I talk to them about this. Don't assume they know. Okay. So I do a mini EOO. I find them super effective, and I usually sponsor at least one person for my personal mini EOOs. Now, it's important. Don't just throw this stuff out there all willy-nilly. Like, that's not effective. I can't tell you how many times I posted like pick a donut thing and I have 80 people comment to book parties and I don't message a single one because I'm like, holy cow, that's overwhelming and I don't know what to say. Guess what? That post was a waste, and all 80 people that commented on that, that's a waste too. When women ask me a question about my business on this post, it's important that you're messaging to follow up with everyone who comments. Here's an example of what you might say. Hey, Susan, thanks for sharing the love. I had no idea you were peeking at the Pure Romance business. How have you been thinking about trying things out? Now, if someone asks you about your business, they're either one, asking because they want the $20 gift certificate, or they're B, asking on this $20 gift certificate post because they can use that as an excuse. They really want to know, but they're too nervous to ask because then everybody's going to think that they want to know. Okay. Women are weird. Okay. The way that our minds work. Oh, we're complicated beings. Or third, they are genuinely straight up interested. So everybody who asks you about your business actually goes on my leads list. So I have a little notebook, a little piece of paper. It is not very organized. I will be honest with you guys, but it's there. And I just put their names down on a leads list, and I make a note in my calendar once a month to follow up with the women on my leads list. Check in with them, what's going on in their world, what's going on in their life. Is now the right time for them to start a business, okay? And when you're talking to these women, when you're messaging Susan and saying, hey, thanks for inquiring, ask them those powerful questions. Have you been thinking about the Pure Romance business? What attracts you to the Pure Romance business? What are you a little bit hesitant about? Would you like to try now, or when would you like to try? Okay, ask those powerful questions. This is going to make all of those ask me about my business posts in your VIP group really effective. Now, let's talk about the sponsoring conversation. I know that there's a few girls who are probably like, I can't sponsor because I don't know how to ask people to sponsor. Guess what? You have all the right words. You just need the courage to go out there and ask them. So if you're feeling like this guy over here on the left, you're like, oh my God, what do I wear? What do I say? What do I ask? I want you to just slow down, calm down, don't worry, don't hurry, and trust the process. Okay, balance your chakras. The sponsoring conversation. Okay, I won't get a little woo-woo on you guys. Now, simplified, The sponsoring conversation does not have to be this big, heavy thing for you guys. The mission of having a conversation and asking people if they want to join your team is about number one, establishing their interest and why they want to get started. That's your first goal. Once you know why they want to get started, we can move to the second goal, which is identifying what they see as a challenge. What you see as a challenge or what you saw in the beginning as a challenge might not be what they see as a challenge. So, again, a reminder, don't make it about your fears, make it about what she's a little hesitant about. You can help her overcome those objections. Last but not least, then it's time to establish the next step. So, straight up ask her, would you like to try now? Or are we looking at a little like 2 week time frame? Like when works for you? She's going to tell you. If she needs to wait until the next payday, she's going to tell you. Don't worry. If she doesn't tell you that, chances are she's ready to rock and roll right now. Now, sponsoring conversation flow. This is a little picture that I have put together for you guys. What I actually ask my people. I want you to just like consider that this is not a one size fit all. Remember to keep the conversation about her and allow the conversation to flow really organically. My number one tip is that this format can be adapted for virtual and in-person contact. I really enjoy, once I know that she's interested, I really enjoy having a phone conversation or a Zoom conversation or just like voice memoing using direct voice message. I think that that's really important because when you read someone's typing, it can be up to interpretation. So I want to confirm that she's interpreting my words exactly as I mean them. So I'm going to start off by saying, you saw before, you guys, I have the best job ever. You guys were amazing tonight. If you're at a party, you can use this. Or if they are commenting on your social media, just say, hey, thanks for all the love and support. Have you ever thought about trying what I do? Again, trying. Have you ever thought about trying what I do? She says, yes. I'll be like, awesome. Why? What makes you excited to try? She's like, oh my God, no, I can never do what you do. Why do you think you couldn't do what I do? Okay. I have the best job ever. I don't even, I didn't have any prerequisites to this job either. What are your hesitations? She'll be like, oh my God, I'm just not as outgoing as you. Oh my goodness. I feel that. I felt really inside of my shell when I first got started, but I found that Pure Romance was the perfect opportunity for me to grow, gain some confidence, and really come into myself. Okay. So you can help overcome her objections, as simple or as complicated as they may be. No objection, every objection can be overcome. Okay. Your job is to just simply show them the light out of that tunnel. Okay. Help them bring down that barrier wall. Use the feel, felt, found method. You just watch me do it. Oh man, I really felt that way too, but I found that Pure Romance was the perfect opportunity for me to come into myself and gain some confidence. What other hesitations do you have? Okay. And then last but not least, when would you like to try? If it's a yes, she's gung ho, let's do it. And then I'll ask her if she'd like to see her options to get started, meaning the kits. If it's a hard no, I'm going to ask her if she'd like to have a fun party instead. Okay. Thinking outside the box. So many opportunities with every single every single person that you come into contact with. Okay. And if it's a none of the above reply, okay, we're just going to move through with her party order and I'm going to follow up with her and kind of revisit the conversation later on. Okay. So that is the conversation flow. I will post that picture for you guys. Like I said, take it and make it your own. Last but not least, I need you to set up your lifestyle to sponsor. Okay. I think you guys need to consider that you are a Pure Romance consultant. You need to own that. You are about to do, if you're just getting started on your journey, you're about to do magical things. People are going to come into your shopping room. People are going to go out of your shopping room. You're going to save people's marriages. You are going to make people live longer. You are going to change people's lives. So own that. The way that you look at yourself, the way that you talk about yourself, the way that you present yourself is incredibly important. Okay. I need you guys to consider your value, whatever it is, however you want to be put together, however you want to brand yourself. I need you guys to consider what you want people to think of when they think of you. Okay. What's the first thing that comes into people's mind when they think of Ashley Hann? Okay. What's the first thing that you think of when you hear my name? Okay. I want you to think about that. Are you satisfied with what people are thinking about you? I know I told you at the beginning, don't worry about what people think, but when it comes to your business, you want your business to be attractive, and therefore you want your personality to be attractive. So, how you talk about your business, how you carry your confidence, your will to share without judgment, that's a big one. Not judging people, not putting words in people's mouths. Your will to share without judgment and your courage to step outside of your comfort zone will define the success of your business and the quantity of women you share this business opportunity with. Okay. And like I said at the beginning, your first impression can become your last impression if you're not intentional about how you treat people, including yourself. People can see how you treat yourself. It's written all over your face, it's written all over your body, it's written all over your social media. Think about that. Okay. Sharing the business opportunity is not only about making other people feel good about what they're getting involved in, feeling good about being in your presence, but sharing the business opportunity is about letting you feel good about what you have to offer. Okay. I want you guys to know how incredibly powerful of an individual you are. You hold the key to so many women's success, and I want you to help them open that door. Okay. So consider setting up your lifestyle to sponsor and to share the light and the positivity that comes with a pure romance business. Okay. So let's just do a little check. From this video, from this training, what are some specific things that you guys can be doing to sponsor like I do, or to sponsor like you would like to sponsor at your ideal peak performance self? Are you effectively sponsoring? Here's a little checklist for you guys. Today, you are going to make a list of all the things that pure romance has brought into your world that you want other women to experience. Today, you're going to do that today. You're also going to go live today and you're going to share your pure romance story on all of your social media platforms. Okay, share as much or as little as you like, but share your story. When's the last time your family heard your story? When's the last time your friends heard your story? When's the last time your clientele group heard your story? Don't assume they know, okay? Play a direct sponsoring game in your client group this week, okay? Play that Ask Me About My Business, do some algorithm boosters before that, and then pop that up there. Do a $20 gift certificate giveaway or a little sample pack giveaway, but play a direct sponsoring game in your clientele group this week. And then I also want you to start, if you don't already have one, start a leads list. It can be just a blank piece of paper, and you're going to put 10 names of women who you think could benefit from the pure romance business, or that you think the pure romance business needs to benefit from. Okay, so start or add 10 new women to your leads list this week. Then you're going to plan an EOO to happen in your VIP group this month. Okay. So before you go to bed tonight, I want you to circle a day in your calendar. When are you going to do a little EOO, a little pop-up 8-question sponsoring game, go live, show your case yourself, talk about the business kits, talk about all the fun things that you gain from the business. When are you going to do that this month? Okay. You have the opportunity to show up huge for yourself and your business right here and right now. Okay. Circle that date. You're also going to follow up with all of the hostess. You plan this EOO. Who are we going to invite? You're going to follow up with all hostesses that you have had in the past 3 to 6 months. And you're going to ask if they'd like an invite to your EOO. Okay. Then you're going to share 3 weekly selfies or stories on your social media, letting your people know what's going on in your world. Like I said at the beginning, when I show the business kits or when I show a direct sponsoring game in my VIP group, none of those posts are effective if I haven't already showed what's going on in my world or what I get to do because of my business. Okay. So make sure that you're sharing those selfies, show your face, share your story. Okay. Implement hostess coaching options for your hostess coaching. Okay. That's an important one. That's something that I think I got from Ashley Walker, and it's changed big time. It's just all about dropping the seeds and opening that door for them. Okay. Then I want you to start messaging all your party guests during a party. Ask them, hey, hope you're having fun. What are you most excited to see? Have you ever been to a party before? Have you ever thought about doing what I do? All right. There's all sorts of questions that you can ask. Just make sure you ask them. Build that connection. Then last but not least, I want you to set a goal to ask X amount of women to start the pure romance journey with you in the next 60 days. Print off a little diagram, have a few different hearts on it. And for every woman that you just simply ask to start their own pure romance journey with you, Give them a little scribble, okay? Set a goal for yourself. Decide, are you going to ask 5? Are you going to ask 10? Are you going to ask 20? Drop it in the comments right now if you're watching this on the replay, on the live. Set a goal for yourself. How many women are you going to ask this month? How many are you going to ask next month? Okay. Drop that for us in the comments. Okay. Now, last but not least, I already said that, but last, most certainly not least, is the most important things to remember in summary. Sharing the business opportunity, it's about her, okay? As much as it's about you getting a bonus and going on a trip and getting a promotion, it's about her twice as much. It's about her experiencing that joy when she opens up her business kit, or when she walks into her first party, or when she pays off her first credit card because of the money she's gained through peer romance, or it's about her. Okay. Keep the conversation simple. Like I said, with the sponsoring conversation, you can overthink it till the cows come home, but just keep it simple. Just ask the dang questions. Okay. And make it about her. Questions are going to be your most powerful tool when it comes to sponsoring. So decide what questions feel natural and organic for you to ask. Make it your mission to know her why before she signs up. I always kick myself. If I have to message my hostess, if I have to message my brand new consultant who just signed up yesterday with a, hey, what are you most excited to get about your business? Because I want to do a little shout out for you in the team group. If I have to message her to ask that, and if I don't already know that before she signed up, I am kicking myself. You should know why she wants to get started before she gets signed up. Okay. And the reason why is you're going to use that as fuel to motivate her. You're going to bring her back to that why every time times get tough, or even when times are good. You're going to help her celebrate that she's one step closer to her why. Okay. Your ego. Okay. I have a big ego speech that I'm not going to bless you guys with here today, but your ego may need to take the back seat for this one. Your ego is that little voice inside of you that makes everything about you. We need to remove your ego. You can name your ego. You can give it a name, whatever you want to call it. You can remove Wanda from the room, okay? Name your ego and let her take a back seat when it comes to sponsoring. Sponsoring is the constant flow of showing up for your business and inspiring others, okay? So I'm not just posting pretty selfies and telling my story and posting the business kits when there's a business kit sale. I'm doing it consistently. I'm showing up every week. I'm sharing the business kits, even when there's not a sale. I'm sharing all of the benefits that I've gained from peer romance. Okay. You're going to see some of those faces here on the right-hand side. These are some of the benefits that I've gained. Okay. These women on the screen right now, they're my sisters. They're my family. And last but not least, you don't know until you ask. So don't put words in her mouth. Okay. You need to know straight from the source whether she wants to get started or not. You hold the key, but you need to share that key with her. Okay. You need to help her open that door. And you can't help her open that door if you're focused on keeping on to that key yourself. So you don't know until you ask the question. And happy sponsoring, everyone. Drop us your goals down below. Drop us your favorite part from this training down below. And if you have questions, drop them in the comments, because I'm watching along during the Summer Success Summit with you guys. I'm taking in all of these incredible tips that we're gaining from the Canadian Board of Directors this week. And on behalf of your board of directors, thank you for showing up to Go Up. Let's grow the nation. Let's have some fun, and let's share all of the beautiful things that Peer Romance has blessed our lives with. Bye.